Hello. Um, it actually took a while to make this video because there's a lot to think about. I scribble when I'm talking, and it makes it easier to talk. I drew a firework and an earworm and a whole lot of smoke. That would break the silence, but I've been getting a lot of 14 sent your way, and Dad sent me a 714 your way. So two becoming one. And I saw your texture episode, your newest texture episode, and I added my time to your time, and I got 1922. I really think I was meant to see that. Everybody's been talking about nightmares, and I remember your 1922 nightmare rotation meme that you made back in March, which I don't know if that's unfortunate. It doesn't necessarily have to be unfortunate. I mean, it might be a nightmare to settle with me or to settle with you or vice versa. But maybe you want the nightmare. 1922 does add to 14. And that's the number you gave us over there in Poland. So, if there's really anything there, I'm still interested, Catalina. I'm willing to humiliate myself one more time to tell you that I'm still interested. And for me, it's not over. And honestly, I can take the humiliation. I've been getting better at taking your rejections. I've actually been getting better at taking your rejections publicly like this, where everybody can see. But I noticed that because it was your first Tech episode this season, 14 does add to 5. And and we're talking about photographs that aren't real. When I wrote about that, I was talking about how when I was still working at the grocery store, I would look up at blue skies and keep people in my head that I made up, you know, and that got me through the days, you know. But I was lying to myself. I think I was ignoring the fact that, or trying to ignore the fact that I wasn't talking to anybody and that I didn't have any close relationships. And back in 2019, when I really thought about just isolating myself even further, part of me did think that, I could be happy. By then, I was really interested in the 1920s. I thought, if I could have as many parts from the 1920s and put it into my own life, with people in my head, um, I could be happy, but I think otherwise good people can do really disturbing things if they're that isolated. And even then, I had to realize, that I would be stuck with people that weren't really there. That is something that I did, where that when I was really taking escapism really far, and all I was doing was just isolating myself. Being stuck with people that aren't really there. And that's what I was writing about when I talked about photographs that weren't real. I'll also use my own words, I must say. I mean, I'm willing to trust it. I'm willing to trust you guys. But Catalina, you do have the most beautiful hat wearing face I'll ever see. Um, and also last year, around early September, taking the permanent face transplant was definitely something that had me freaked out. So that would be a good way to talk to somebody, to talk to two different people with the same words, or to talk to two different people at once. And I mean, I do want to say that people have been really wanting me to know that people either haven't or have been eating food. And I don't have problems with people eating food. I mean, in fact, I'm rather okay with it. If people like the food or care about the food, then I wouldn't have any problems. But I was allowed to talk to somebody for many months. And then people want me to know that people are eating food. I'm never gonna like it, but I can understand it. I think maybe I'll like it though, or be okay with it. I don't want to be mad, and I'm not gonna be mad over much anymore. I'm not gonna hold any grudges. I'm not gonna stab myself with another two-bladed dagger. And I would really probably don't have too many good insults to come back with anyway. Maybe that is the best insult, though, is to be able to not care about it at all. To be able to say, well, I've already moved on so fast it's left you in the dust with your head spinning. But once your head's stopped spinning, eat away. Unless I've been the asshole. Unless I've been the asshole. But I also feel like I'm talking to people in movies. Or in a movie. Speaking of which, why did my dad take off on Thursday to bring me stuff for hot dogs and 2 rolls of toilet paper? That's fishy. And speaking of assholes, actually, I think I have been the asshole. And I don't think it's been you, Alex. Alex, I'm finally talking to you. Um, I remember when I said that this world would be a better place with you and your friends gone. I think I deleted that video because I was ashamed of what I had said. But remembering or realizing now that when I was talking about your friends, I think I was also talking about Catalina too. I actually don't think I was ever going to apologize for that. Whoa. I think I deserve that. But, um, but I think, if, the people deserve an apology, and I don't want to say anything like that anyway, then, I should apologize. Um, and I know, like, me not saying a whole lot anyway, and then when I do say stuff, that's what I end up saying is you and your friends, well, the world would be a better place if you and your friends were gone. That would make me an asshole. So I'm sorry, Alex, that I said that, and I'm sorry to your friends. But, I mean, I don't feel that way anymore. I think I would have to say something like that, that you and your friends don't need to be here. Or that's not what I said. I said the world would be a better place if you and your friends weren't here. I think I would have to say something like that because I was that angry over something. I just had to get over it. Sometimes that literally happens where literally the more you like somebody, the angrier you get. And in this case, I think it was over nothing. But, I mean, I didn't think about any of that, and I just came up to conclusions. And I was very unfair to you, Alex, and your friends, so I'm sorry. But I remember your stream where you were talking to the lurkers, and did you say that you love me? If you did, I love you too. Um, it's funny because when I was a teenager, everybody thought I was gay. And if everybody thought I was gay now, I think that would be really funny. I'm bisexual, so half gay. But I wouldn't say I'm not pansexual. But the last year, I've been really serious about having a relationship with a woman. I also don't think it's hateful to say that somebody's dead, though. Um, if somebody said that somebody was dead to them, that's hateful. But to say somebody's dead, that could be said with a lot of love or and a lot of pain. And I mean, sometimes it's true anyway. Sometimes you really do need to get over somebody. But also sometimes your impressions of somebody can be killed in an instant. And I still think it's important to talk to the person you thought somebody was. Because they may not want you to talk to them. And you may not get to have any part of their life. Or sometimes people change and then they grow distant. But I mean, if you care about somebody, I think it's okay to talk to the person you thought they were. Um, this is the reason why I think I should make the video. Is that what would hurt the most? Or hurt me the most? Is if I had a cough really bad? I remember this is what you guys told me about the lyrics to the My Chemical Romance song Helena, every heart you take. And I see a black shirt with a bloody heart, so I would be taking my heart. And that's why the shark is after me. Also, if you guys wanted to tell me that I'm low, the lowest of the low for having a bad cough, a cough that's really bad, and that I'm a coward for doing that, and that I don't deserve anybody's respect for doing that. No, I'll listen to that. I think I also wrote that in my videos where I was talking to my sister, where I had said that I wanted to write her a book, you know, that once I gave that book to her, then I could be able to have a cough that's really bad. Then I realized that that was bullshit, and that there's no way she ever could have wanted that book instead of me.
Wow.
Sorry I keep dropping the phone, but I don't know. I mean, the first time I dropped the phone, I probably deserved it, but the second time, I don't know. But I was right. I wouldn't deserve anybody's respect for having a cough that's really bad. You guys have been reminding me of what I had written down in my first video. Black trees and blue skies. Dim the light. I don't want to hide. I don't want to fight. Wait, let me. Black trees and blue skies. Dim the light. I want to hide. I don't want to fight. Sweet goodbye and a lie. I wonder how I tell you goodbye. You guys want me to fight. That's the message. I mean, I would have to, based on what I wrote, I would have to fight. Because not fighting, I would be dead or be dead anyway. Catalina, I remember in your comment section where you talked about your 1620s post. She's ready to kick ass. And everybody's been talking about fighters. So y'all even talked about partners fighting and how it wouldn't even be a good relationship if you never fought with your partner. And then about how I shouldn't be wanting validation from any of you. I mean, Catalina, I really want us to work out, but I really hope that's the key to making it work is for us both to fight. And I remember on a Dad's last stream when he talked about Matt Walsh. I remember something I had said years ago. I'm gonna be told by a lot of people that they don't like me, but I just have to be me. And I don't think that's necessarily true. I think um, it's true if you're gonna try to be on the internet. Yeah, it's absolutely true. You can't let the haters and the weirdos eat you up, but I mean, I gotta bring up Nick Fuentes because I said that I hoped he was okay, but I also said that I hoped he was getting excrement, which he was getting excrement sent to his house or even thrown at his door, I think. So at least I told him I was happy that was happening. But I don't know if any of you actually want me to wish death on the guy. I would think that that's something we had, the left and progressives largely have over the far right and the Republicans, even. That on their side, they're joking about Democrats getting murdered. While when we're talking about when stuff like that happens, or most people are talking about how scary that is. That politicians and political figures are getting killed. At least people on the left are saying that that's scary, and that sets a scary precedent for everybody else. But if I had to say something about Nick Fuentes, I really don't want him to like me. But I want all of you to like me. And y'all should know why. But I remember though, I also think, the weirder or more authentic you are as a person, more likely you are to find somebody who really cares about you. Or you end up like a loser with somebody who just settled for you because they wanted a kid. I would rather spend my life alone than to be with somebody who just settled with me. But if settling with me is a nightmare and somebody wanted a nightmare, I think that would be okay. So happy 14. All right. Take care, y'all. I love y'all. Bye. 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 Bye.